15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Welcome back, everyone. 2020-2021 preseason. I'm joined again by my co-host Jason.
Hey guys, how's it going?
So we're a little less than 2 weeks away from this Premier League season starting. Jason, how hype are you for getting this started?
I was enjoying the small vacation immensely from Premier League actually, but now I'm getting into it again. I'm getting pretty hyped now that we're about 2 weeks away.
I know.
Started my research a couple of days ago, so just getting into it right now.
Exactly. I started my research like just yesterday. But we definitely got a lot of scouting done, and we're here to kind of give our early draft picks, our early fantasy picks, and then just this week we'll go over our defenders and our goalkeepers, and then as we move on later next week we'll provide our midfields and forwards. All right, so let's move on to the schedule. Jason, anything what's peeking out for you when you see this schedule?
The big thing that everyone needs to be aware of, if you're not already, is that United, City, Burnley, and Villa all blank in week 1. So when you're putting your teams together, you have to keep that in mind. They do not have a game, so you will not get points for them.
Yeah.
As far as team building, am I avoiding those teams? A little bit, yeah. I'm probably holding off on most of those assets for right now. Might get a couple in and just have them on the bench, and hopefully I'll have enough playing players to make up for that. And then, so that's the big watch out that I have.
Mm-hmm.
As far as
So what do you think? When do you think you're gonna put in the Man City and the Man United players?
I mean, possibly as early as week 2,
Yeah.
especially for like City. They have Wolves and Leicester, so they don't have the easiest of starts. Whereas United have Crystal Palace, Brighton, so that's a little bit better. But then United
Mm-hmm.
get a little tougher with Tottenham and Chelsea and Arsenal in 3 of the next 4.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking about game week 2, putting in Bruno, or I'm just gonna have Bruno number as for United is right now, and then game week 2 will give me a good scout of how City is gonna play. It is away to Wolves, a good defensive team. I'll probably not pick up any City at that point, but game week 3, that's when I'm gonna go for the Man City players.
Okay.
What about so you've highlighted here. You have Wolves, and you have Spurs, and you have Southampton.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say there's too many teams that have an amazing run of fixtures to start the season. Like nothing truly stood out as awesome to me. But if we had to pick some out, I think Tottenham's fixtures look really well. Everton, Southampton, Newcastle. United will be tough. Then they have West Ham, Burnley, Brighton, West Brom. Then it gets a little tougher in game week 9. But for those first 8 weeks, I think Tottenham's a great team to target both offensively and defensively.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely
Same with,
agree.
same with
Definitely
Southampton.
with Spurs, their new signing at Doherty. It'll be interesting how he plays with Mourinho, and it seems like he'll probably be going to like a left back position, or I mean a fullback, right back position.
Yeah. Yeah, Wolves, just so everyone knows, he was primarily a wing back, so really got forward a lot. Tottenham plays a back 4 for the most part, so like Beraht said, he'll be a fullback. But I'd also point out that in Mourinho's system, the right back tends to get forward a bit more, while the left back kind of drops back in to help defend. In this case, Ben Davis.
That
So
is
if that
pretty true, yeah.
yeah, so if that trend continues, which I'm assuming it will at this point, we should still hopefully see a lot of attacking out of Doherty. So hopefully not a huge drop off in his output.
Who was Mourinho's right back for United? I'm just curious.
At United, I think it was Ashley Young got a lot of time there.
I see.
Diogo Dalot was injured almost the entire time he was there. Otherwise, he might have gotten some more chances.
That's true. I mean, it's not always a right back, but he definitely does typically have one full back that is more attacking, like Maicon or Marcelo, and then one that kind of stays put.
Yeah,
So,
kind of forms a back three while the other one marauds forward.
like he had Kivu with Inter, and then the right back for Madrid. I think it was Albeloa or something like that. I
Oh,
can't.
Arbeloa.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah.
But that's pretty true. I forgot about that. Good
Yeah,
point.
so we'll see that.
Uh,
And then, yeah, lastly, I'll just touch on Wolves, also a pretty decent schedule. So Sheffield United, I think they looked a little bit better towards the end of Project Restart, but they didn't quite hit the heights, and now they don't have Dean Henderson in net
yeah,
anymore.
exactly.
And then City is going to be a tough one, obviously, but then after that, Wolves have or five really nice matches all in a row, so they'd be a good team to target whether you want to go defensively or for like Jimenez up top.
Yeah. I'd say no team here has like a clear great run of fixtures. Um, Arsenal, they got really good first two game week fixtures, so you could really think about captaining someone, and then for captainship, it's either going to be maybe a Liverpool or Arsenal with a Aubameyang. And then after that, you can kind of move on to the Manchester teams after the first two game weeks with Arsenal. That could be
Yeah,
a
they
good
definitely
plan.
get pretty tough after that.
All right. Anything else you want to add about the schedule?
No, not a whole lot of news here. Not a ton of great, not a ton of poor. Everyone's kind of in the middle for the most part. So,
All right. Let's go on
move on.
to our watch list, starting with our goalkeepers. So we'll start from the set and forgets. Nick Pope was a great asset last season. He started as a 4.5 keeper. He ended up having the team had 15 clean sheets. So yeah,
Yep.
absolutely excellent season. Because of that, he has added a whole point now. What do you think about have Nick Pope? Do you think that he'd be a good set and forget for this season?
Yeah, I think overall he would be. Not in week one, obviously, since they have a blank. So you would have to have someone else on your team to kind of compensate for that and not just have a 4.0 alongside him. But yeah, overall, with that in mind, he'd still be one of the top picks I would have for a set and forget keeper.
Yeah, I go personally. I mean, right now we don't have too many expensive keepers. I definitely wouldn't go that route. I'm going with the traditional two 4.5s. I've chosen McCarthy and Ryan, who was on the list here. I'm very high Southampton. They've had 13 clean sheets. And then Brighton, he had nine. That they had 9 clean sheets. Um, what's your strategy, Jason? I think you kind of went the same route.
Yep, so I consider pretty much everyone on this list. You know, they all offer some pretty good potential at varying price points, but at the end of the day, I decided if you're going to get a similar production from a 4.5 guy to say like a 5 or a 5.5 or even a 6 for that matter, might as well go with the cheaper option. So I'm going Matt Ryan and Alex McCarthy for my goalkeeper rotation.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say the wild card is going to be Martinez. Um, if he is a sure starter for Arsenal. I might make a change to Martinez, just because I already have like two Southampton. I mean, I'd rather have like a one Southampton defender slash keeper over two. And currently I don't have an, or I do. Oh, I do have Arsenal too. But it's a good thing that you should diversify. You should definitely keep it down to, I'd say, a minimum of two per team, and that only two for one team. You should have a variety of teams in your defense. Would you agree, Jason?
Yep. Yeah, kind of get the rotation in there. It can be hard to predict who's going to do well. So, like you said, just get a variety of like 4.5 options, and at least one of them's going to do well in a given week usually.
All right, let's go on to the defenders. Trent Alexander-Arnold at 7.5. What do you think of this price, Jason?
Yeah, he went up a little bit from last year, but he's definitely worth it. I think he's going to be in the vast majority of teams this year, so it would take a brave person to go into the season without him at this point.
I'd be very surprised if his ownership is less than about 60%. This guy is pretty much a must-have. I feel like he is the most undervalued player in the game. His points are more similar to that of a premium midfielder, in my opinion.
Wow. Yeah, it's hard to deny that. Yeah, one watch out. He did sit out the Community Shield due to a supposedly minor injury. We got 2 weeks till the season starts, so just keep an eye on it. At this point, we expect him to be healthy, but just in case, just make sure you have a backup plan ready in case he's out for a bit longer than we're anticipating.
Yeah, I believe he was called for the England squad, so let's see what happens if he gets any playing time there.
Okay.
Hopefully no injuries, but you never know. So that'll be a good watch. I mean, if there is, I'd go straight to the other left back, Andrew Robertson. To me, he had a great game in the Community Shield. Did you get the chance to watch any of that?
Yeah, I thought he was pretty good in that. I know during Project Restart, he kind of started off a little poorly, and then towards the end, he got back to his best, I think, or at least close to his best. So it looks like he's kind of carried that over to the preseason now. So if there's anything wrong with Alexander Arnold, or you really just want to save that 0.5, I think he's a pretty viable alternative.
Mm-hmm. Now you've got, after that you've got a long list of 4.5s. Then you got some other slightly premium defenders like Matt Doherty and Lucas Dean. Tell me a little bit your thoughts on, and then also maybe Wan Bissaka. Tell me your thoughts on these 5 to 6 price defenders.
All right, so it's kind of mid-range. So I guess the best non-Liverpool defenders I'm looking at are Luca Digne and Matt Doherty for Everton and Tottenham. They're both part of fairly solid defensive units, but really their attacking potential is what kind of separates them from the rest of the pack. They're both very active down the flanks for their teams. Joe Gomez, that's basically the budget option to get into Liverpool's defense. So you have your premium fullbacks, and then Virgil van Dijk 6.5. Alisson is 6, but then Joe Gomez cheap is at 5.5 if you want to kind of get a nice Liverpool double up on the cheap that way. That'd be a good option to do that.
You think it'd be worth it going for a Liverpool double up?
I'm personally not doing it right now. They looked a little shaky in the Community Shield defensively, and obviously in Project Restart, their defense just, not that they had a whole lot to play for, but they still, didn't look the greatest at that point either. So for me, I'm not going to double up on them at this point, but I do want to have Alexander Arnold.
Right. I'm definitely on the board of just Alexander Arnold or Robertson right now too.
Yep.
So that
Yeah,
kind of.
I'll touch on Aaron Wan-Bissaka real quick.
Okay.
That's just your United option. No game in week 1, obviously. Um, he's not the prettiest going forward, but if you're just playing fantasy, he does get some assists. So I think 5.5 is a little steep for him. But if you're trying to get in on the United defense, he'd be the option I would go for.
Yeah, United also have they had an excellent defense last season. They had 13 clean sheets. Wan-Bissaka, not the best season from him, but it was his debut season with Man United. He's had better attacking returns when he was with Crystal Palace. We'll see how he does now that United's attack is so much stronger. You got your I don't know what you want to call them. I call them like the Fab Four.
Yeah, you got what Rashford, Martial, Greenwood, and Bruno as the attacking quartet.
Yeah. Okay. Next, so you got a long list of 4.5s. I'll tell you my strategy is I've got Alexander Arnold, and then I've just got an array of 4.5s as well. Tell me which 4.5s kind of has your eye and got your pick right now, Jason.
So my number 1 pick is going to be Ruben Vinagre for Wolves, with Johnny being tearing his ACL in the preseason and being out for a long time. At least until, as of right now, keep an eye on the transfer market, obviously. But Vinagre is their left back or left wing back who will be playing now. So again, that Wolves defense for a 4.5 is pure value. So for me, he's the pick of the bunch right now.
Yeah, definitely is a great choice. Wolves had 13 clean sheets in the last season, and then since Project Restart, they had 1, 2, 3, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7 clean sheets in Project Restart, including a 2-0 to Chelsea, 2-0 Palace, that was 1-1, so 7 clean sheets, 3-0 Everton, 1-0 Villa, 1-0 Burnley, 2-0 West Ham. So definitely a team to look out for in terms of clean
and they have
sheets.
no European football this year. So their sole focus will be on the league.
Totally forgot about that too. That's pretty big. That's definitely something I'll have to rethink about. Currently, I only have one Wolves player, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Anyone else in here strike your fancy in the 4.5 bracket?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta go with like the kind of the array. We already kind of talked about Southampton, Walker Peters at that 4.5, and Southampton having 13 clean sheets on the season. This is definitely someone I have. Luke Ayling from Leeds. So they definitely destroyed the championship. They got a terrible start of the season here in the Premiership. So it's not someone I have on my team, but it's someone I want to keep an eye on. And pretty much everyone, I want to scout the whole, all the new teams coming in, like particularly Fulham and Leeds. We know Fulham from prior years. They are a Premiership team. So I'm sure there's going to be some good valued players in that squad.
Yep. Yeah, I can see that happening.
Anyone else you want to bring up here?
I'll just quick comment on Charlie Taylor for Burnley. He's only 4.5. He does have that blank in game week 1, so keep that in mind. That'd probably be the big one I mentioned. With James Justin, he's starting right now. Ricardo Pereira will be back eventually. We don't know when that is yet. So he could, kind of go away after a month or so. We'll have to keep an eye on that situation.
All right. Yep. So let's move on to our early drafts here. We've been kind of talking about it. I've chosen heavy on the premium midfielders, and then Trent to go with a lot of 4.5s, and then 4.5 goalkeepers. And one of the main players I've got is Timo Werner. I think he's underpriced. One of the greatest forwards in Europe right now, at least last season. Let's see here. Currently, I have Salah over Mane. I think he usually has higher big chances, and he's usually more forward. With Milner getting less playing time, Salah's likely to be the one on pens. Saint Maximin, extremely fun to watch player here. So he had a good project restart too. Just kind of a fun player I like to add. Right now I've got Son. This is kind of my placeholder for Bruno. And then Aubameyang, I could see him having an excellent season. But for now, I'll keep him for the first 2 game weeks. But he's a kind of my placeholder for KDB or Sterling at the moment. I already kind of talked a little bit about my thoughts on Fulham. I do think they're a Premier League team. I do see them staying up. Mitrovic, he is already a proven goal scorer in the Premier League. He had like 11 goals the last time he was in the Premier League. And then someone that had an excellent project restart to partner I've got Che Adams. Southampton, we talked about. I'm heavy on Southampton. Che Adams, he had 4 goals and 4 assists in that restart. It was a terrible. Prior to that, it was a terrible debut season for Southampton, but I think that's going to change. Any thoughts on my team, Jason?
Let's see here. So I'll kind of ignore the mids and forwards for now. We'll get into that more on the next episodes. I'm just going to focus in on your defense. So yeah, it looks like you went the budget route for the most part alongside Alexander-Arnold.
Yep.
Do you have an exit plan for James Justin if Ricardo Pereira gets back to health soon?
What injury? I thought it was a longer-term injury.
It was longer term, but I think he's starting to get back to the point where he could be returning to the pitch sometime before the new year.
At the time, I don't. I'll definitely be scouting. I know there's some 4.0. People are talking strongly about Armstrong from Crystal Palace. He also has a knock, so that's someone I'm taking a look at once he gets more in match fitness.
Okay. And then my other question to you is on Rob Holding for Arsenal. Do you think he's going to start?
So he started the Community Shield. That's why I have him on my team.
Okay.
That's another one. Whether it's going to be him or Arsenal's they have a French center back that was supposed to start.
Yeah, the new William Saliba.
Yeah, Saliba.
He was on loan last year. He's coming back this year. He's highly rated, but still very young.
I'm definitely gonna take one of either Martinez, Holding, or Saliba.
Gotcha.
Right now, Holding
They
started.
also just signed Gabriel, the Brazilian center back.
Is he in the league? I mean, isn't it fantasy?
Not yet. I don't know that it's been announced officially by the clubs, but Romano gave it the famous "Here we go" on
He's
Twitter.
from the front. So... Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah.
Where's he from? He's from like Marseille. Where's he from again?
I think he's from Lille.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. See, I haven't scouted him yet, so I'm not 100% sure on him. But we'll see. I mean, definitely if he's 4.5, I'll take him. No problem there. Arsenal in that interesting. I think they're gonna go with a 3-5-2,
Yeah,
or
that's what it looks
or
like.
like a 3-4-3. It looks like he wants three at the back. I think Arsenal have a fairly strong defense as long as there's no errors. But when they're on their game, like in that Community Shield, I thought they played well. Any other thoughts, comments? All right, let's move on to your team.
That's what I got right now. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go to your team here.
All right. So you'll see I kind of had a similar strategy to you and kind of going for the budget defense and goalkeeper with Alexander Arnold so I could afford more premium mids and forwards. Um, so we did the same goalkeeper setup with Matt Ryan and Alex McCarthy, and then Trent Alexander-Arnold, obviously. We already touched on Ruben Vinagre. Like, he's, in my opinion, essential right now if they don't delve into the transfer market further to kind of solidify that left back spot. Kyle Walker-Peters is starting for Southampton. They have a pretty good schedule and did really well in Project Restart. So I like that pick at 4.5. I also have Charlie Taylor in my team. No fixture in game week 1, obviously. But I think in the long term, I do want to have a Burnley defender, so he fits the bill for me. And then Mitchell is kind of my placeholder right now. He's a 4.0 for Crystal Palace. I think, as you kind of alluded to, we're still waiting to see which 4.0 asset for Palace kind of emerges, or if there's any other 4.0 assets anywhere else that might emerge. So I'm just going to keep my eye on that over the next 2 weeks, and that'll definitely, I'm pretty sure, is going to change to whoever kind of emerges during these preseason friendlies.
Okay. So it seems like you definitely have a strong midfield. Sorry,
Yeah,
I interrupted you.
Nah, not really. I was just going to say the premium midfielder seems to be like how teams are going to be defined right now as far as like which premium midfielders do you have and how many can you afford.
I think that's going to be definitely going to be the battleground with all your Man City options, KDB, Sterling, your United options, Bruno, and is Rashford a midfielder or is he forward?
Yeah, Rashford and Greenwood are both midfielders this year.
That's something.
Yeah,
That's
anyone
gonna
who's
be
a wing
something.
forward in any way is now a midfielder in Fantasy Premier League.
And then Spurs with Son. There are so many different options in that midfield. That's gonna be where you're gonna. That's gonna be the big differential, in my opinion. Everyone's gonna have like Alexander Arnold, and then for the most part, people will have. I think most people will go with more of a cheaper defense, so then they can afford these premium midfielders. But we just don't know which ones to have. You just got to pick the right ones based on your schedule and what, your own eye exam.
Yep. Yeah, stay flexible and don't be afraid to wild card aggressively if, options start to emerge early in the season and they're not the ones you have. You don't want to get caught out on that.
I'll probably play a more aggressive my first 4 to 5 game weeks in terms of taking hits, but I definitely don't want to wild card early. There's the change in the winter season this year, so this could affect things in terms of players coming back from like fitness and things like that. So I'm definitely gonna try to hold on to my wild card.
Okay. I mean, I'd like to as well, but I'm just prepared to use it if need be.
Yeah, overall we have similar teams. I like your team. My only caution for would be maybe you have one too many players on your bench that aren't playing game week 1. I would probably say hold to only just one. But
Yeah, right now
overall,
my margin for error is basically 0 to -1 on that, so that's definitely something I need to look out for and probably fix.
yeah. Other than that, yeah, similar teams. So tell me real quick, why Mane over Salah?
For me, at this point, it's kind of a coin flip. They both had awesome stats in Project Restart as far as the number of chances they're getting. Like Salah gets more chances, Mane finishes more chances, better conversion rate. As far as right now, I thought Mane looked a little sharper in the Community Shield. And I think, I haven't checked the ownership numbers, but I think more people own Salah. So I kind of liked Mane as a bit of a differential amongst the huge pack of Salah owners.
Not a bad idea. Now when you put it like that.
Yeah. But like I said, for me, it's kind of a coin flip. Like tomorrow, I might say Salah over Mane. It's probably going to change 5 more times before the season starts. So that's just where I'm at right now.
All right. So this year we're gonna have an open league. Feel free to join us. The code 3PZ3CX. It'll be fun. We can. It's always interesting to track, see how other players are doing in the league, what the top players, what kind of what differential players they have, things like that.
Yep, it's always fun to test your skills against, the idiots who are trying to give you advice, and then beating them can be very satisfying.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, ultimate bragging rights. Come take us on. Like we said, the code 3PZ3CX. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right, just kind of our already kind of talked about this at the end. Typically, we have our own ideas on our recommendations, but we kind of came up to these same 3 players that we've talked about. Trent is going to be your absolute must own. I'm going to expect at least 60% ownership. Matt Ryan, I expect big things for Southampton this season. And then Ruben Vinagre will have that traditional defensive mindset.
Yep. Y'all let's touch on Matt Ryan's actually on Brighton, not Southampton.
Oh, I don't know. I got too many notes on with me.
Yeah, you got McCarthy. You have Southampton's keeper as well. So I mean, you're already covered there.
I actually wanted to put McCarthy here.
Okay,
so
I put Matt Ryan.
Yeah, that's our only. We have both of them, but I would have put McCarthy. I'm more high on Southampton. Defense.
Yeah, I'm more high on Southampton as a team, but as far as an individual asset, Matt Ryan is my goalkeeper. 4.5 is a near set and forget. It's hard to beat for me.
Yeah.
Like we said with Ruben Vinagre, a 4.5 defender for Wolves. That's all you need to know.
That's pretty true.
Yeah.
All right, I think that just about does it for this week's episode, guys. Again, if you like the content, please give us a like, subscribe, join our fantasy league. Next week we'll be talking a little bit more of. We'll have a little bit better idea of our final opinions of the season and our final, some of maybe our near final picks.
Hopefully.
And then we'll be taking a look at a little bit more interesting the midfielders and the forwards.
I think that, like I said, the midfielders I think are going to define at least the early season this year. So that's going to be the one we're really going to want to focus in on and concentrate on getting that right is the midfield.
Yep. And then I personally have a lot to say about Timo Werner. So look forward to that episode next weekend.
Yep.
All right. That's it for now, guys. Take care.
Yep. Welcome back.
See ya.